fact that we know if Caitlin Clark had done this, people aren't joking about it. We know, like, if this happened, we know that Tina Charles would never be joking. And let's just say if Alyssa Thomas was still in the Sun, and when Alyssa Thomas chokeslammed Angel Reese, like, you know that there wouldn't be any talk about this being a funny situation and Marina gonna Marina.
Recent discussions have emerged regarding Tina Charles' commentary about the controversial incident involving Caitlin Clark during the Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever matchup. The situation requires careful examination of the actual events versus social media interpretations that have circulated widely. Video analysis reveals that Charles was moving toward Clark when Marina Mabrey had already made contact with the Indiana rookie. The sequence shows Mabrey's action causing Clark to fall into Charles's vicinity, creating an unfortunate collision rather than an intentional assault. Static images and freeze-frame captures can misrepresent the actual sequence of events, making normal basketball movement appear malicious.
Gonna Marina. Like, no one's gonna say Alyssa's gonna Alyssa when she's arguably the dirtiest player in the league. So, and look, it's the same thing where it's like, you're not necessarily going to laugh about it on a podcast as a teammate in that situation. But at the same time, and like, I'd make the Sophie Cunningham one is different because it was in retaliation. And I think I have no issue with JC Sheldon going after Sophie.
Charles addressed the situation during an appearance on the Superbird podcast, providing her perspective on the incident that sparked significant online debate. Her account emphasized the rapid nature of basketball altercations and how photographs can distort the reality of what transpired during those heated moments. The veteran player described her immediate reaction during the scuffle, explaining that she was attempting to de-escalate tensions rather than escalate them. Her positioning near Clark occurred as a natural consequence of the ongoing confrontation between multiple players from both teams. However, analysis of the situation reveals some concerning elements regarding player conduct during intense moments.
I have no issue with JC Sheldon going after Sophie Cunningham after the fact. Like, Sophie Cunningham committed a hard foul. What she did was significantly lesser of the two here, of Marina Mabrey and Sophie Cunningham. What she did was a lot less dangerous. She didn't blindside somebody. He was holding their eye. And still, this is what Tina Charles said talking about on Superbird's podcast.
But insert pictures here. I sent you these pictures after, the big, the scrum, Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever.
While Charles maintained she did not deliberately strike Clark, her subsequent behavior raises questions about appropriate responses when opponents are in vulnerable positions. The incident began when tensions escalated between players from both teams, leading to a physical altercation that drew multiple participants. Charles found herself in the middle of this confrontation, defending teammate JC Sheldon while simultaneously engaging with Clark. Charles explained that her actions followed typical basketball protocol where teammates support each other regardless of who initiated the conflict. She emphasized that players often defend colleagues even when those teammates may be in the wrong, as team loyalty supersedes individual judgments during competitive moments.
They were like
I feel like it was like the perfect depiction of New York at the start. Because you were like, no.
Yeah, I was like, yo.
You had your finger, yeah.
And then what's crazy is everybody's like, yo, you punched it in the back. And I'm like, nah, I was just like.
I know, so that's the funny part.
You got it.
Clip number one, slide number one, Tina going, yo.
Like, yo, chill out, watch yourself. Just watch yourself.
This is right after JC and Caitlin got into a little bit.
And I mean that when I'm like, at the same, like, a lot of people are like, oh,
The veteran forward acknowledged telling Clark to watch yourself during the altercation, which occurred after tensions had already escalated between Sheldon and Clark. This warning represented standard competitive communication that frequently occurs during heated basketball exchanges. When Mabrey subsequently knocked Clark down, Charles immediately clarified that she was not responsible for that action. Her reaction showed awareness that observers might attribute various actions to her due to her proximity to the incident. Charles described continuing to engage verbally with Clark even after the rookie had fallen, maintaining her confrontational stance throughout the remainder of the altercation.
Up here like, oh, she went up to Caitlin Clark and was like, watch yourself. When Caitlin didn't do anything. Look, it's sports. You are, most of the time, in sport, even if your teammate is wrong, you are defending your teammate. Like, I have on the court back in my day, gotten into it with some of my not good friends, got into it with people I'm friends with on behalf of people on my team that I fucking hated.
This aspect of her behavior has drawn criticism from analysts who question the appropriateness of such actions. The situation highlights the difference between supporting teammates and taking advantage of opponents in vulnerable positions. While defending colleagues represents standard basketball culture, standing over fallen opponents while engaging in verbal confrontation crosses ethical boundaries. Sports analysts have noted that most professional players, despite engaging in face-to-face confrontations, rarely intend actual physical violence. The majority of league participants prefer intimidation tactics rather than genuine fighting, making most altercations more theatrical than dangerous.
I'm friends with on behalf of people on my team that I fucking hated. Like, it has happened in school games and stuff that I have defended people that I couldn't stand just because they were my teammates. But at the end of the day, it's like, that is what it is. Even if your teammate's in the wrong, sometimes you gotta stand up for your teammate. Because at the end of the day, look, it's a battle. It's you versus them. And you've got to be all on the same page.
You see Caitlin push her, and you go, yo!
Yeah,
to
it's just
Caitlin.
watch yourself.
Then Mabry comes in.
Comparisons have been drawn to other incidents involving different players and teams, questioning whether responses would be similar if roles were reversed. The suggestion is that certain players receive different treatment based on their reputation and standing within the league community. The Sophie Cunningham incident mentioned in discussions involved retaliation for previous actions, creating a different context than the Mabry situation. Analysts argue that retaliatory actions, while still problematic, differ from unprovoked aggressive behavior toward opponents. Some observers have criticized the inconsistent application of standards when evaluating player conduct.
Yeah, it's just
Caitlin.
watch yourself.
Then Mabry comes in.
Yeah, Marina
knocks
go
Caitlin.
Marina though.
Yeah, knocks her down. And then you see Tina go, it wasn't me. Immediately.
But
I
yeah,
didn't do
I'm
it.
still like talking my shit like
This is the one part until this I had a problem with. This is the one part I had a problem with this entire interview. Is that like Tina Charles very much is like, yeah, I didn't do that. Marina, and it's like, oh, Marina's gonna Marina and whatever about writing her off. If you're gonna have the attitude of Marina's gonna Marina, and you're not criticizing Marina Mabry for that,
The argument suggests that if Charles excuses Mabry's actions as characteristic behavior, then similar tolerance should extend to other players who engage in questionable conduct. The incident occurred during a particularly intense period of competition between the teams, with multiple previous confrontations contributing to elevated tensions. Historical context includes various physical interactions between players that created an atmosphere conducive to escalated confrontations. Sheldon's involvement in previous incidents, including actions affecting other players' injuries, contributed to the hostile environment surrounding this particular game. These background tensions influenced how players approached competitive interactions throughout the contest.
that you can't criticize Sophie. You criticize one, maybe you can criticize the other. But look, they're the same player. If Sophie Cunningham was on the Sun and she did that to Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabry would have done the exact same thing to JC Sheldon. Because let's be real. JC Sheldon took out Sid Colson's knee. JC Sheldon was involved in a thing rolling her ankle, Sophie Cunningham. JC Sheldon was the person who started all by eye gouging Caitlin Clark. So at the end of the day, look, people are like, oh, why did she not go after Mabry? Mabry wasn't on the floor, and JC Sheldon was.
Charles acknowledged that technical fouls were appropriate given the circumstances, particularly considering her behavior, while referees observed the situation. Her admission that standing over a fallen opponent while engaging in verbal confrontation warranted officiating intervention demonstrates awareness of appropriate boundaries. The Veteran Players podcast appearance revealed a casual attitude toward the incident that some analysts found concerning. Her laughing and joking about standing over Clark while the rookie was in a vulnerable position has drawn criticism for appearing insensitive. The broader context of this incident reflects ongoing discussions about player safety and appropriate conduct during competitive moments.
There could have been a Mercury jersey sold. There could have, sorry, not Mercury, an Alyssa Thomas jersey sold. We have no way to confirm or deny that at the time of this video, there was no Alyssa Thomas jerseys there. You know what? Maybe there wasn't. Maybe there wasn't, but it's a big maybe. And I would actually apologize. I would retract my entire statement if the post confirming there was never any Alyssa Thomas jerseys didn't say there were no Satu jerseys as well. And that apparently an employee of the store said they.
league officials continue evaluating how to balance competitive intensity with player welfare concerns. While basketball naturally involves physical contact and emotional intensity, the line between acceptable competition and inappropriate behavior requires constant attention. Incidents like this one provide opportunities for league education and policy clarification. The situation also demonstrates how social media and photographic evidence can both clarify and distort understanding of rapid sporting events. Multiple perspectives and video angles become necessary to accurately assess player actions during complex altercations.
And that apparently an employee of the store said they never got any Satu jerseys. Did Niara Sabally make an all-star team? Did Niara make an all-star team? Because that kind of looks like Sabally. But, so originally there was this post here. And it was from Desert Wave Media. Where they said, can confirm the team shop in Indianapolis does not have any Alyssa Thomas or Satu merchandise. Spoke with 2 different employees who told me they didn't receive any.
Charles' explanation provides valuable insight into player psychology during heated moments, revealing how quickly situations can escalate and how difficult it becomes to control all aspects of competitive behavior once altercations begin. The incident serves as a reminder that professional athletes operate under intense pressure while maintaining awareness that their actions receive scrutiny from multiple audiences. Players must balance competitive instincts with professional responsibilities even during emotionally charged moments. Moving forward, this situation contributes to ongoing conversations about establishing clear standards for player conduct while preserving the competitive intensity.
Didn't receive any. That's a Satu jersey. That's a Satu jersey. The response is, honestly, do not believe they weren't sent anything. That's borderline impossible. The union handles partnership with the league. Also weird that it's only the 2 players from the same team. To be fair, I can't make jerseys. It's more logical. It was some combo of being in the wrong section, poor organization, not knowledgeable employees. Satu, who, like Satu, there's clearly a jersey that says Sabally there. There's clearly a jersey that says Sabally.
The analysis ultimately suggests that while Charles did not commit the most serious allegations against her, certain aspects of her behavior during the incident fell short of professional standards. Her response to the situation provides learning opportunities for both individual players and league-wide policy discussions. The basketball community benefits from honest discussions about these incidents, as they provide opportunities to clarify expectations and improve player conduct standards. Such conversations help maintain competitive integrity while prioritizing participant safety and professional behavior standards. Recent developments have emerged regarding the Alyssa Thomas jersey availability situation at the WNBA All-Star Weekend merchandise locations.
Sabally there. Because that's Mitchell. That is not Mitchell. This is clearly a Satu Sabally jersey. And again, I thought this originally was an Alyssa Thomas jersey, but apparently they are selling Caitlin Clark team fee jerseys, which is hilarious. And Sabrina Ionescu team fee jerseys. But like, you're like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the bottom left is definitely Satu. These are not all the jerseys. Satu jerseys are on the wall with the other Team Clark color jerseys. There were even a video of the lady looking for an AT jersey. So, like, there's a possibility it could have sold out.
The controversy centers around claims that certain player jerseys were completely unavailable at official retail outlets during the Indianapolis event. Initial reports suggested that Alyssa Thomas jerseys were not available for purchase at the team merchandise store. This claim sparked significant discussion about player representation and merchandise distribution during major WNBA events. The situation became more complex when additional players were allegedly missing from the jersey inventory. A fan documented her search for Thomas jerseys, claiming that store employees confirmed they never received any Thomas merchandise.
It could have sold out. And you see here, there's just a random jersey in there. They could have been in behind. And look, there is a possibility. There's all these jerseys. There is definitely a possibility. One, this is not every single jersey it's a picture of. But there is a possibility that they had maybe 5 Alyssa Thomas jerseys in stock and they all sold out. But then later on, we see this right here. We see the victory lap. We see the victory lap. Where is it? And by the way, we see the victory lap where suddenly, there's a victory lap.
The same report indicated that Satu Sabally jerseys were also unavailable according to employee statements. This information came from Desert Wave Media, which reported speaking with multiple store employees who confirmed the absence of specific player merchandise. However, photographic evidence later emerged that appeared to contradict some of these claims. Images from the merchandise area clearly showed jerseys that appeared to belong to Sabley, raising questions about the accuracy of initial reports. The presence of identifiable Sabley jerseys suggested that either the reporting was incorrect or the inventory situation changed between visits.
There's a victory lap, and she's in a different. She's wearing a Mercury jersey now. She's in a different outfit. She's wearing a Mercury jersey and jeans. She's in shorts here. So she's there looking for apologies. She's looking for apologies. She shows up later to say, look, there's none of these jerseys. They could have sold out. And again, I'm not saying there's not a possibility that there was no Alyssa Thomas jerseys. There is a shot there's no Alyssa Thomas jerseys. But you can't believe.
The controversy intensified when the original complainant returned to the store hours later, apparently wearing different clothing and continuing to document the merchandise availability. This second visit occurred approximately 6 hours after the initial documentation, raising questions about the timeline and potential changes in inventory during that period. Several explanations emerged for the apparent discrepancy in jersey availability. One possibility involves limited initial stock quantities for certain players, with jerseys selling out quickly due to high demand. Another explanation suggests organizational issues within the store, potentially placing jerseys in incorrect sections or failing to display them prominently.
There's no Alyssa Thomas jerseys. But you can't believe this because they said there's no Satu jersey. They said there's no Satu jersey. There's clearly was a Satu jersey. There clearly was a Satu jersey. And then, you can't victory lap, say, look, there was none of these, and go, be gone long enough to do an outfit change, come back, 5:17 p.m. my time. When was this? 11 p.m. my time. Then come back 6 hours later and be like, look, there wasn't any.
The situation highlighted broader concerns about merchandise planning and player representation at major WNBA events. Thomas, despite being considered a strong MVP candidate and elite player, may not have the same commercial appeal as other All-Star participants. This reality could influence initial inventory decisions by merchandise suppliers. Nike, as the official jersey supplier for the WNBA, bears responsibility for ensuring adequate inventory of all participating players' merchandise. The apparent shortage of certain player jerseys during a Premier League event reflects poorly on both the supplier and the league's merchandise strategy.
I'm sorry to have an AT jersey. She should be available. I agree she should be available. And if she wasn't available, because in between the time where she shows up here and shows up here, Satu jerseys all sold out. In that time period, Satu jerseys all sold out. So there is a non-zero chance that they sold out of the jerseys quick because they didn't have a lot of them in stock. Like when I was in
The controversy also revealed interesting consumer behavior patterns at sporting events. Fans often seek unique or less common jerseys rather than purchasing readily available star player merchandise. This tendency explains why limited quantity jerseys for players like Williams or other role players often sell out quickly at venue merchandise stands. Historical precedent exists for similar inventory issues at major sporting events.